my hope is that this video will not be too much of a downer. But I feel like I can safely say that this song is my favorite song on the album, because it is very close to me, it's very personal to me, and it's one of the times, I think, as a songwriter, it's one of the times where I feel like I really nailed what I was trying to say, and I really expressed things exactly the way I wanted to express it. But this song was written during a very unhealthy period of my life, in which, over the span of, 7 or 8 months, I basically had 3 attempts on taking my own life, and this was written in between the last 2, which ends up kind of being more haunting because that 3rd one ended up coming after I even wrote this, and I thought I had kind of gotten it all out of my system. And the thing, I guess, that I want most to be taken from this is that, mental illness is a real thing, and depression is a real thing. And if you haven't experienced it yet, I'm really happy for you. But there are things that you need to understand about other people and things that other people are dealing with. When I took the actions that I did, my mind was in a completely warped reality. So it's very easy to sit back and look at situations where people do things like this and it looks very selfish because they're doing something for themselves and not considering you at all. But it's actually the reverse of that. I can at least speak for myself, and I've heard this of other people, that when somebody, with the attempt of killing themselves, a lot of the time it's because they believe in their head that they are doing the best thing for everybody else in their lives, that they are going to be relieving a burden of everybody else in their lives. And so there needs to be an understanding with people whenever you realize you're dealing with somebody who's dealing with those kind of issues, that they're not thinking clearly, and that you need to be doing everything in your power to make sure they know that they're loved. And sometimes you do, and that still won't break through the illusions that they're going through. Can say one thing though, and when I woke up in the hospital, I woke up multiple times because I was in and out. But I remember the first time I woke up, Gif, you were there, and I remember in that moment, like, that was like me realizing that to at least some degree, like, it wasn't true, and it was like confirmation that I was lying to myself, or that seeing you and Lindsay there meant a lot to me. And I barely even knew Andrew. I think I knew you for like a week. I don't even know if you knew this happened.
No, I didn't know till later.
You had no idea, and we told you later, like, oh yeah, we had to take 2 weeks off because I was, they wouldn't let me leave the hospital.
Yeah.
That was like right after we first started playing. But I mean, I guess that's kind of the preface to all of it, is just, we need to make sure we take that kind of thing seriously, and we need to make sure we're not judging people who are taking actions like this too easily, because far too often we decide what's going on in their minds before we allow them to express it accurately. So as far as my personal experience with this song, that's why it's my favorite, is because I feel like I just really expressed what was going on in my head in those moments. Feeling like I had nobody, even though I had people all around me. It felt like I had nobody, so I was counting all the friends that I thought I didn't have anymore, and it was enough to fall asleep, and continuously looking for people to love me, kind of things like that. The whole middle section is basically, a step-by-step. That's why this song will always be very close to me, especially being on the other end of it and feeling much happier and much healthier and much more level.
There's definitely, I can feel some part of what you were going through when I listened to the song. When I really listened to this song, it's one of the only songs I listen to, of any song, but of ours, especially, that I actually get emotional, because I mean, even just like listening to what you say in the song, like, you know, I can picture you going through that, and it's, I mean, it's just difficult from being on the outside knowing that, and I mean, and you know, fortunately, I haven't personally like gone through that stuff, but like knowing some other people who have gone through similar things, like it's, I'm sure most people out there probably know someone who has, you know, to some degree or another, had something like this, and it's helps me appreciate part of what you were going through, at least expressing some of those feelings.
I feel like this song too is very different, even musically, from the rest of the songs on the album. It just has a completely different, all-around feel. You know what I mean? Lyrically, musically, it's totally different from anything else, and I think that's why I like it so much.
I think it's
because it's a complete change of pace on the album.
Yeah.
You know, and the whole song, it does build up, you know, towards the end. And the end, I think, is drastically, I guess, heavier you could call it.
Yeah.
Without really being heavy, but the whole song, I feel like, is like a giant crescendo from the beginning to the end. And I think that suits it well. This is the one I remember working on the most. Like, not that we worked on it more than other songs, but this is the one that sticks in my mind. Like, when I think about the whole recording process when we recorded all these songs, I really come back to this one. It sticks in my mind. Us sitting in, you know, we were at your basement at your parents' place, and
I remember going back.
Family was over, and everybody was kind of giving their inputs.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Good, and we were going back and forth with you and I and both of our wives, and most of the time they disagreed with what we were saying.
Well, what's funny about our wives is your wife almost always agreed with me, and my wife almost always agreed with you. Which is funny because our wives always joke that we married each other. Right. It's nice whenever you get other people's input in, because then whenever you get your way, you don't feel like as much of a jerk. Right. And I feel like we split it pretty down the middle on this.
Yeah,
I think we both got a little bit. We give and take a lot better than we used to.
Yeah.
And I think it was for the best on this song. I think that middle portion of the song to the end, when it comes down to just the man and his guitar, and it builds from there. That's exactly what I wanted to do, and I didn't even know it was all exactly what I wanted to be until I got your input. But that's the blessing of having other creative people to work with, not just one big one. Also, there's multiple Star Wars references in this song.
There is. I tell people that all the time too.
But don't tell them.
Like friends that I know that I have that I know are Star Wars fans. And I'm like, did you pick up on it? Where's the Star Wars reference at?
It's like it's like a song like this intense with the emotional stuff, and all of a sudden they're like, wait, didn't Yoda say that?